Hello everybody, welcome back to the Bad Bookers Wrestling Podcast. My name is Jack and today we are reviewing Monday Night Raw. As always on a Tuesday morning. It's a bit late, I know. I've just woken up, so that's what happens when you stay up and watch Raw. You wake up at 12:15 as it is. We'll go straight into the Raw review. There's nothing to talk about. It was an alright Raw, decent Raw, wasn't too bad. The first thing that happened was Braun Strowman and Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre came out and they said how, Dean Ambrose walked away last week after their match with the Shield and that the Shields were broken. They broke the Shield. And then the Shield's music hit, but only Roman and Seth came out. And they said, look, Dean's alright. He just turns up when he wants. And he runs on his own time. Does what he wants, turns up when he wants. And then Seth was like, look, Drew, me and you have got a match tonight. Why don't we kick it off right now? And they did. They had a break, and then they came back, and Seth and Drew were having a fight. This was for qualification for the WWE World Cup, which, of course, they mentioned it countless times. They've mentioned it more on this show than they have in the previous weeks put together. No mention of Saudi Arabia, though. So, I don't really know what's going to happen there. It's going to be interesting to find out. But Seth Rollins defeated Drew McIntyre via countout after Dolph Ziggler came out and tried to distract Seth Rollins. Dean Ambrose music hit. He then attacked Dolph from behind, and I think, what was it? Dean attacked Dolph from behind. Drew then attacked Dean, but Drew fell over on the outside, and then Seth managed to hit his curb stomp on the outside to Drew McIntyre when the count was on 7, I believe. Seth hopped back in the ring, won via count out. It does mean it's another American in the World Cup. It also means that Seth's not defending his IC belt again. They did so well to push it up, when Seth, the Miz, and then Seth won it at WrestleMania, and then all this feud is Dolph Ziggler. It felt good. The IC belt felt like something, and now it just doesn't. It just doesn't, which is unfortunate. After the match, there was a little segment with the whole of the Shield, and they were celebrating, I guess you could say, about Seth winning the match, and they said, look, I told you Dean was going to turn up, he runs on lunatic time. And Dean was like, what'd you call me? What'd you call me? Oh, is that all I'm here for? A little bit of laughs, a little bit of jokes, yeah? Oh, I've got a match to think about now. Jog on, boys. It's essentially what he said. So, they're carrying on planting the seeds. The seeds are still being planted. Madness. Next up, we had Nia Jax and Ember Moon defeats the team of Dana Brooke and a returning Tamina, who we haven't seen for ages. This is all for the new match that they announced on for Evolution. Even it is a battle royale for a champion. If the winner gets a championship shot, I'm gonna have to do this off the top of my head. So we got Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, Alicia Fox, Dana Brooke, Tamina, Nia Jax, Ember Moon, Asuka, Naomi. Tori Wilson's in there. Is that everyone? I feel like that might be everyone. I think that's everyone. I can't remember. I've done well there, to be fair. But yeah, Nia Jax and Ember Moon defeated Dana Brooke and Tamina. Fairly simply, it was fine. It was an alright match. And it was good. Tamina managed to pick up Nia Jax and do a Samoa drop on her, which that looked really cool, to be fair. And after the match, Nia Jax and Tamina had a little confrontation. They were shoving each other and whatnot because they just don't like each other. And It ended up with Ember Moon looking at Tamina as Nia Jax was picking herself up against the ropes. And as they like to do when there's a Battle Royale or a Royal Rumble coming up, Tamina and Ember Moon lifted Nia Jax over the top rope and eliminated her, if you will. Ember Moon then tried to do it to Tamina. Tamina managed to counter it. They tried to get each other over the ropes. Dana Brooke, out of nowhere, flipped them both over. It makes Dana Brooke look strong. Jesus Christ. Who would have thought? Moving on. Ronda Rousey came out and she said she wanted an explanation for what happened last week with the Bella Twins. Bella Twins came out and said, you don't need an explanation, mate. Just don't need one. We built this division. We made the word, I think they said we made the word diva what it means today or something. Okay, no one can, like, that alone, her mentioning diva about 5 times, that alone got quite a lot of boos. Because no one cares about the word diva. No one wants to hear that word anymore. Ronda's promo skills, they were good. It was an alright promo. Bella's mentioned how they've been kicking down doors for years and Ronda hadn't done anything. Ronda came back and went, I've been kicking down doors in judo, Strikeforce, UFC, now kicking down doors here. The only door you've kicked down is John Cena's bedroom door and he threw you out that same door. And the crowd went fucking apeshit. It was quite a good line. Ronda delivered it quite well. Like, it was okay. Like, it could have been better, but this is Ronda, so we'll let her off for now. But her timing of the deliveries needs to improve slightly and quicker, I believe. But it's a good start. But we didn't get an explanation. They didn't have a brawl. Ronda jumped out the ring. The Bellas threw security at her. And Ronda destroyed the security, as they like to get her do, which is cool. The Bella Twins jogged on at that point and left the arena, so good. A good little segment, I guess. Next up, we had another qualifying match for the World Cup. Dolph Ziggler defeating Dean Ambrose. This was an interesting one. Dolph was on top of Dean at this point, and Drew McIntyre, Dean was on top of Dolph even. Drew McIntyre came out to distract Dean Ambrose while Dean was on the top rope. But it's like pretty much straight away. Dolph's there's too many D's. Drew McIntyre came out. Seth Rollins was straight behind him. Took him off the apron. They had to start on a fight. And Dean Ambrose had a choice about jumping on Dolph Ziggler or jumping on Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. He decided to jump on Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins jumped straight back up. He tried to pick up Dean, but Dean pushed him over. And Seth was just sat there like, what the fuck? What was that for? Dean jumped straight back into the ring. Super kick from Dolph Ziggler. 1, 2, 3. Dolph Ziggler, another American, is going to the World Cup. Gentle Jesus. But yeah, Dean pushing Seth away, and then the final scene, if you will, before the ad break, was Seth going into the ring and just looking at Dean like, what was that all about, mate? What was that all about? Next up, we had Finn Bálor defeating Jinder Mahal. Nothing to say about that. Bobby Lashley came straight out after Finn won his match to start his match. He defeated Tyler Breeze once again. Nothing to say about that. It was pretty much the same as last week with Lio Rush. Then we had a segment between Elise? Who's Elise? Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Trish and Lita. Trish Stratus and Lita's promo skills are something to be left desired, I assume, because they're not very good on the mic, are they anymore? I was trying to think back. I need to re-watch like Attitude Era stuff to see if they actually were any good on the mic, because for some reason I have them as like fantastic promo workers. And I don't know if that's hindering them now, in my opinion, if that makes sense. Because I always thought, yeah, great promo workers. And they're just not very good. And I'm wondering, like, has that always been the case? Or have they actually, like, lost their pizzazz, if you will? Once again, nothing really happened. Alexa and Mickie James told them to get some practice. Trish and Lita were like, yeah, 2 Hall of Famers need some practice. Yeah. And that was about it. As you can tell, this hour was a bit weird. Next up, we had the AOP defeating what everyone thought was Kurt Angle in his Conquistador outfit. It wasn't. You can quite clearly tell it wasn't. The AOP demolished some jobber. I wouldn't be able to tell you what his name is. And then Baron Corbin was up on the ramp on the chair. And as the match finished, they revealed the mask, realised it wasn't Kurt Angle. Baron Corbin stood up, all confused. Kurt Angle came out. He was wearing a nice little hat, a flowery shirt, and some sports shorts. It was a weird combo. Pardon me. And yeah, he did an angle slam on Baron Corbin. And then that was it. Next up, Natalya defeated Ruby Riott via disqualification. Natalya had Ruby Riott in the sharpshooter, and then Sarah Logan came out and what's that thing where they attack the knee from behind? Can't remember. Did that to Natalya. But before the match was the interesting point. Ruby Riott obviously came out with Sarah Logan, Liv Morgan. Natalya's music hit, and she had a mic in her hand, and she said, "Look, do you really think I'm going to come down here alone? I've got me some backup, Ruby." And Bayley's music hit, which the crowd popped a little bit for, I guess. And she said, "You think I'm only going to bring Bayley down? There's 3 of you. There's going to be 3 of us." Sasha Banks' music. Obviously, we haven't seen Sasha Banks for months now, is it? It's been at least a month, I think. The crowds were excited to see Sasha back. There was rumours going around. Apparently she was injured, but there's rumours flying around that she wasn't injured. She was doing... she had some mental health issues. She were having a break after she walked down the company. There was flying rumours. I believe she was injured anyway. So she's back now. Either way, it doesn't matter. And yeah, there was a big brawl afterwards. We're probably going to see a 6-woman tag match next week. So yeah, whatever. Sasha Banks is back. It's only a good thing because, you know, Sasha Banks and Bayley, they did with their match at NXT. That kind of put eyes on the women's revolution, if you will. And it's good that she's back just before Evolution. Now she just needs to have a match there, whatever it's for. Next up, we had Elias with his, you know, guitar shtick, taking the piss out of the Philly crowd. The Philly crowd are a bit quiet at some points at nights. I can't blame them, to be fair, but you would expect a Philly crowd to, you know, just be a bit more electric in even the boring segments, if you will. Sometimes it's a bit weird, you know, they've gone from Chicago and Philly, the 2 hottest crowds, if you want, like one week after another. It's great. It's great, but Philly at point, they're okay. Yeah, Elias is doing a shtick. He then got interrupted by none other than Apollo Crews, who has returned, no longer a part of Titus Worldwide apparently, after Dana Brooke left, because Dana Brooke was the glue that held them together apparently, and Apollo Crews managed to pick Elias up and hold him there for what felt like a minute. It was a great show of strength. Elias got absolutely done over really, and walked off, making Apollo look strong. And yeah, like, Apollo's a bit boring, isn't he? But he has a good talent in the ring. We all say he's good athleticism. We've all seen that before, and it'd be good to get him some TV time and try and build his character a bit more so he can maybe seem like a legitimate candidate for an IC title push maybe. But we'll have to wait and see. But next up was main event time. Earlier in the night, it was after Seth's match? No, after Dean's match. Was it after Dean's match? Yeah, it was after Dean's match. So I was thinking then, mind going like, after Dean's match, Seth was obviously like, what the hell are you doing? Dean just walked up the ramp, and Seth jumped out the ring and chased after him. They started shoving each other back and forth, like, what the hell are you doing? And all that. Roman came out and, started to split them, like, guys, what you doing? Baron Corbin's music hit and said, boys, I'm not going to let you implode on my behalf, on my show. I want to keep things nice and tight around here. So you're going to have a match with Braun Strowman and his boys again for the 5th week in a row. I know it's the same things every week, but it's simple booking. It's a heel GM taking advantage of his 3 baby faces having a rough time. It's just simple booking. Granted, it's the same match every week, but it's simple booking. It really is simple booking. The heel manager making it difficult, making the babyface life difficult. Simple. So yeah, we had the Shield versus Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre. There was teasers and it was all go mental. So I don't know if this is in order, but we had Dolph Ziggler getting absolutely... At the start of the match, Braun Strowman shouted at Dolph Ziggler, I want you to show your worth, so you're starting this match. And Dolph was like, alright, jog on then. I'll start the match. And then we had Drew McIntyre accidentally Claymore kick Braun Strowman, which was quite cool. And then we had Seth... Dolph Ziggler pushed Seth into Dean as they tagged out, so Dean was going back on the apron. Dean turns around like, what are you doing? What are you doing that for? What are you doing that for? And Seth was like, it clearly wasn't me, mate. And Dean had a cover on Drew, I believe. Dolph once again pushed Seth onto the pin, breaking up the pin. And Dean stood up and was like, 3 times, I think it was 2 or 3 times, I can't remember the other time. But he was like, I would have had that at 3 if you didn't mess up. That's 3 times now. And Seth was like, it's clearly not my fault. I've been pushed over. They started shoving each other again, and Dean Ambrose went for the dirty deeds on Seth Rollins. It got broken up, or Seth reversed it, and then Roman came in, split them up again. Braun Strowman fucking bulldozed through them and started wailing on Roman Reigns. But next... after that, we had a lovely commentary put it over quite well, and saying, right, they've had a little squabble, but now they mean business. They are sticking to the plan, and great tag team maneuvers by Dolph and by there's too many D's by Dean and Seth, and then out of nowhere, I think Roman was in the ring. Roman hit a spear on Drew. Dolph then came in to try and hit his DDT, where he like holds there for a minute and then hits that. But they countered it really well into the Shield powerbomb. Dolph jumped on Roman. Roman managed to catch him, put him on his shoulders. Dolph and Dean and Seth were there straight away. Shield powerbomb to help put him down. Dean with the pin. 1, 2, 3. They're all one big happy family afterwards. And then after the match, Braun Strowman stood up, looked at both Dolph and Drew. Obviously Drew even. Drew with the accidental Claymore kick on him. He picked up Dolph Ziggler and went, I told you what would happen if you screwed up. You're going to get these hands. Did a power slam on Dolph Ziggler, and he celebrated. He turned around, massive, absolutely glorious Claymore kick from Drew McIntyre. But interestingly enough, Drew McIntyre left the both of them lying in the ring. He didn't pick up his tag titles. He didn't pick up Dolph. He just walked out, a bit like what Dean did last week. He just walked out, looked back. Him and Braun had a little bit of a stare off, but it was quite a cool way to end Monday Night Raw with that. That was a pretty nice Claymore kick, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, that was Monday Night Raw. It was good. Obviously, the middle bit, as you saw with like the Finn stuff and the Lashley stuff, was passable, if you will. You didn't have to watch that. But the start, the end, decent. Absolutely decent. It was fine by me. SmackDown 1000 is tonight, so we're going to have some returns. Some mystery. I say mystery, they've announced them all, haven't they? Nothing's a surprise anymore. But I shall see you for that tomorrow morning. Hopefully a bit earlier. Hopefully I'll wake up a bit earlier. But yeah, if you like that, please like. If you are new around here or you haven't done so already, smash that subscribe button. And I shall see you tomorrow for SmackDown 1000. Thank you very much for watching.